Okay, welcome back. It has been a minute and a half. I mentioned in the notes on the previous episode that due to some technical difficulties, I lost my own save, so I had to kind of rebuild this one from scratch, and that's it's a little demotivating. So it's taken me a minute to get back to this, but we're back, baby. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and build some grow beds. Since we got the blueprints for those, go ahead and get some things planted. Let's see. You can do this as you like. I like to build grow beds outside windows or glass tubes, things like that, because they a nice ambiance later on.
Is a proven survival strategy.
Dude.
Craig McGill survived 47 months on a healthy, raw salad of live tree roaches and stank root.
Okay. Now, to propagate these, mushrooms you just hit once to give you seeds. There's a secret with gel sacks. You hit them twice, and then pick them up. You can get 2 seeds before they disappear. Then you replant, and you get to hit it twice more. And you replant, and so on. So, I usually don't need to have more than about 8 planted at once anyway. Yeah, that'll do. Actually, I didn't mean to plant quite that many now. Don't worry about that later. Okay. So one of the things that I really want is a perimeter defense for the sea moth. Now that I have those acid mushrooms, as soon as I have more than a couple, I can go ahead and make that. The other thing is... Oh, right. In the last episode, we were out at that tall wreck out in the sparse reef area, and we didn't find all the bridge fragments we were looking for the Cyclops. So the first thing I want to do today is show you a couple places where we might be able to get those. Now, one of those places is over that way behind the Aurora. It's a trench in the crash zone, which I basically never go to because it's chock full of reapers and there's nothing there really that I can't usually get somewhere safer. But theoretically, bridge fragments can spawn there, so we'll try that in a minute here. But first we're going to head up in the northwest to the mushroom forest up here. There are 2 mushroom forests. There's one way up in the northwest, and there's one just off to the east of the shallows, kind of between the mountain and the wreck of the Aurora. See, this is the edge of the mushroom forest here. Now, there's a large wreck along the edge of this biome here somewhere. Sometimes they'll spawn in there, sometimes they'll just randomly spawn on the seabed, like that one. We don't need any more hull fragments, though. I want bridge fragments. Oh, so those are jelly rays. They're really cool. Oof. Good grief, 2 spadefish at once. That's a little silly. Oh, man, that'll come in handy. That's the power transmitter. Those.
Picking up faint Altera vehicle signatures.
They're talking about Cyclops fragments. Anyway, the power transmitters will come in real handy once we get a thermal plant built. Because unlike most other forms of power, you can't just build it at your base, it has to be built on the site of a thermal feature. Where is that rack? It's always up in the top of one of these, around 100 meters. I guess we might as well hit that life pod while we're out here. Nothing super interesting at this life pod.
Integrating.
Live pod launch sequence initiated.
This guy didn't survive the landing.
My creators, the cherishers and sustainers of worlds, give me this day my daily pleasures, as I give to those who seek pleasures from me.
External temperature approaching critical levels.
Show me the path. In light, truth, and love for mine is the power. I am the one. On and on and on again.
Impact imminent.
Life is a game which the universe plays with itself.
This is the big mushroom tree.
Plain as this bundle of flesh.
That was a bone shark off in the distance. Anyway, there's some interesting stuff in here. I think that's a bone shark egg. That is the most interesting thing in here. Now, it's extremely easy to get lost inside this big tree. So if you're coming up here to look for that egg, which is a unique item, you want to make sure you only come in this lower entrance. You can go in one of the upper entrances and kind of find your way down through the maze, but it's a little hairy. A lot of dead ends, maze of twisty passages all alike. Anyway, this is worse than a lot of the wrecks out there for getting lost in. Still no bridge fragments. Probably don't need much in the way of lithium. I have some back at base already. It's kind of interesting that the power transmitter only requires one fragment. Most other things require at least 2 or 3. Yeah. Man. Okay, fine. The other thing you can find out here is jelly ray eggs. One of my favorite things to do aesthetically is, oh, there we go, is breed a bunch of those once you get the facilities for it, and then have a school of them swimming around my base, just because they look really cool when there's a bunch of them, and they, if you listen close, they have kind of a song, a little bit like whales or something. Should be this, oh, golden peeper. Oh, jeez, really? All right, he's okay. We're getting out into the dunes here. We don't want to be here.
Warning. Maximum
Oh, shoot.
reached.
Shoot.
Damage imminent.
Forgot about that. Alright, I gotta play around out there.
Detecting multiple
That's
Leviathan
why.
class, life forms in the region. Are you certain whatever you're doing is worth it?
No, actually, not today. It is not worth it. But I'm kind of aggravated because there should be a wreck in the top of one of these mushroom trees around here somewhere. It's normally not that hard to find. It's usually more or less on the edge of this biome. That's not what I'm after. Yeah, it's just a grassy plateau wreck. That's not gonna have what we're after. Whoa. Like 3 of them. There it is. Okay, it was too far south. That's the one I was looking for. There are about 3 different ways into this wreck, and I think they go to 2 separate areas. This isn't the worst of them, but this is definitely one of those wrecks that's not hard to get turned around in. Check my food and water here. I didn't bring any food and water. Well, pretty sure I already have all the fragments for that. Yeah. Yip-a-doo. Can't get in there. Okay. Nothing else in here. Oh. Get in here. Oh. Well, it'll be a minute before we can build that, but that'll be nice.
Acquired.
You just swim right out here. That's found our way to the other exit. Oh, you know what? That door that I opened is the way between the 2 different halves that I thought were separate. Yeah, let's not get stuck in the mushroom tree. Alright, well. Still no bridge fragments. It's alright. We haven't struck out yet. Let's just strike one. Let's head back. Ooh. time capsule. These are neat. You get to leave one of these behind when you finish the game. Oh, those aren't even supposed to be allowed in time capsules. That's interesting.
Motivational note. Craig McGill crash-landed in the acid swamps of Boreal 9, fought off arachnid kidney poachers, and hijacked a tamed Star Wall. If he can do all that, you can survive one more day.
They did. They left an ion battery in that stasis rifle that was in the time capsule, which is kind of awesome. I'm gonna put that in my Sea Glide. They have about 5 times the capacity of a regular battery, so it's a lot easier to not run out of battery. Cool. Well, that'll save me a bit of work later on. Normally you have to get quite a bit further on before you can upgrade your Cyclops depth module to Mark II. Now we won't have to worry about that. Yes. Okay. Almost home.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Aurora, we're approaching the planet now. We have a landing site for you that's... well, it's better than the alternatives. We've sent you the coordinates. It'll take us a couple of days to align our orbit. Should be able to establish direct contact with you during that time. Then we're coming in to get you. Cross your fingers, the weather holds. Don't leave us waiting. Sunbeam out.
That'll do for now. And I actually don't need that right now either. If you do kill it, you get 2 seeds on the last hit. Just remember, don't forget to replant it. So if you eat your last sample, you gotta swim all the way out to the mountains to get another one, or to the other island. Oh, it looks like those mushrooms matured already. Fantastic. Another thing I like to do is plant these creepvine seed clusters in the grow beds, because when they mature, you have a bunch of glowing fruit. It kind of really makes a nice quality of light. Okay. So now that I have those... Okay, fine. Anyway, now that I have those, I can make the hydrochloric acid that I need to make the polyaniline. Then I need to make the perimeter defense, whose blueprint that countdown timer is now covering. Where is it? I'm trying to remember what else I need for it. Oh, there it is. Ah, just a wiring kit. Okay. Now, I'll go to that other spot. And before we do that, fully repair. Oh. No, actually, because I gotta switch to the radiation suit. Because the crash zone is all irradiated right now. It's alright, we don't need the rebreather at the moment because we won't be going very deep. Now, to use the perimeter defense, first you click the number key that corresponds to that slot to arm it. And then once it's armed, you just click and hold the trigger to charge it up. And then release to fire. The longer you hold it, the more powerful and the greater the range is. Which is going to be super handy, because where we're going, we're going to have ample reason to use it. Oh, yeah. I swear they know we're coming. Now, the reason some people go back here is because there do tend to be a lot of Cyclops engine fragments. I'll show you in a bit here. There's a... Whoa, hi! There's a much safer place to get those. Now, if you keep flying, if you stay ahead of him, you technically have more speed than he does. If you turn around and look back, you'll break your momentum, and then he'll catch you, unless you strafe. If you strafe, you can dodge him. But there are several of those stinkers over here. See? Yeah. See, there's an engine fragment. There's a bunch of salvage back here, too. Oops. Yep, there's another engine fragment. I don't feel like stopping right now with those Reapers all over the place. I'm actually looking for bridge fragments. Ugh. See, now I'm looking back. It slows me down because your rearward thrust isn't as good as your more engine fragments. See, there's lots of loot back here, but that's also pretty dang risky. Alright. Safe at the moment. Maybe I will go scan those things.
Passing 100 meters.
Yeah, I know.
Efficiency decreased.
Nah, you know what? Forget it. I just don't feel safe out here. Besides, that's not why we're here. Those I can get easier elsewhere. Without risking my skin so much. West. Now I haven't, in all the hours I've played this game, I haven't ever actually gone this route. I I did not realize this trench was so deep. It is deep enough I can't take the unmodified Seamoth all the way down there. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. Oop. Yeah, see, there we go.
Hull damage imminent. Passing 200 meters. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
And bone sharks are the least of our worries. Alright, I don't want to spend too much time doing this because there's stuff I want to do. Oh, jeez. Got disoriented there and didn't realize I was going down and not up. Alright. Okay, before I go back across that crash zone, I'm going to fix this thing up. Because if you do get attacked and you're at full health, you'll be alright. You'll survive typically. But if your Seamoth gets attacked when you're at 50-something, what's that? Yeah, this is salt. Yeah, anyway, if your Seamoth gets attacked when you're at 50-something, you can lose it. It can get destroyed. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm not spending any more time back here than I have to. Like, I'm not a chicken or anything, but this is the most dangerous spot in the stinking game. Like, with the possible exception of, like, the very last biome. And even then, there's only, like, one sea dragon down there, or two. A lot less of a hassle than the... Okay, still didn't get those bridge fragments. Which kind of annoys me. I mean, I got the bridge fragments in this map because I had to restart. They were at the tall wreck, like I expected them to be. But I want to make sure that I can demonstrate to you where else you can find them. Honestly, the eastern mushroom forest is probably the first place I should have checked. I don't know why that one just... the blueprints seem to be more plentiful there. Now, if you get docked and your ghost ray's damaged, I mean your Seamoth is damaged, you can repair. The only way to repair it while it's docked is to point your repair tool at the upgrade panel for some reason. But that does work. Just need to something to stick that. See all the running around we've done. We've barely touched the charge on that ion battery. It's just wild that we got that. Like, we could have built the stasis rifle, have everything I need for it, but it just saves me the trouble. Got the blueprint for it back on the floating island. Okay. Everything we can get here. I don't remember if I showed you this, but the ultra high capacity tank is, you get the blueprint over at Lifepod 19 and it's pretty easy to upgrade if you just have some lithium on hand. Oh, you know what? Plant that over here. Once they mature, you can take more cuttings to propagate further pretty much whenever you want to. Oh, actually, maybe I'll... Nah, you don't need a lot of acid mushrooms either. Okay, moving on. Let's go hit... Yeah, let's go hit Mushroom Forest.
All systems online.
There are several things I want to demonstrate out at the mountain when we go toward the Sunbeam rendezvous. but I will want to come back and switch to the rebreather before we do that, because we'll have occasion to go deeper. And we won't be close enough to the crash zone to worry about the radiation at that point. Ah, there's one.
Passing 100 meters.
See, there's 3 or 4 different variations of each fragment type. The bridge fragments, they have that pressure door. There's the actual helm. There's the other. Ow. And there's another one that's basically just the place you stand while you're at the helm. It looks kind of like a solar panel. You may or may not see one of those. If you're looking for somewhere other than the shallows to build a base, the mushroom forest is a good spot. There are no predators. There's nothing bigger than a jelly ray in there, pretty much. You do have to worry about the radiation and the depth.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
If you use this one. If you go up to the northwest one, you don't have to worry about the radiation either, but it is kind of deep. Unless you build up on top of one of the mushrooms, which is kind of cool. But they're also not as centrally located as the shallows, so that's still kind of my favorite spot. Alright, I think I have enough of these. You only need 2 to get them to breed. I got 1 back at base, so should be good. I was hoping we would see more than 1 bridge fragment. Oh, that's the bulb zone out there. I'm actually going to grab a cutting of one of those bulb bushes real quick. In a pinch, you can use those for food and water too. They're edible. Be careful leaving your sea moth unattended around bone sharks, especially if you leave the headlights on. They'll attack your sea moth while you're not in it, which is kind of a pain in the neck. Come back out of a wreck and find your sea moth smoking and sparking at like 2 hells. Or worse. Now, if you head off that way, you can run into a reaper. We're getting close to the mountain, to the western side of the southeast side of that mountain, and there is a reaper who hangs out there. So there's another bone shark egg. Alright. My piloting skills are off peak today. So as long as the battery in my repair tool holds out, it's not a problem. There tend to be quite a few blueprints on the seabed in this chunk of mushroom forest. There's modification stations, power transmitters. I see more eggs. I don't need those right now. Ah, there's one of the other types of bridge fragments. I'm not going to stop for it because I have all I need. Oh, that's a moonpool fragment. Gosh darn spadefish, I swear. Those have to be the most annoying non-predatory creature in this whole stinking game. Oh, we should head there too soon. Not right now, though. Alright. That's enough for now. Head back to base. Swap out that alternatives to jelly shrimp. Head back to base. Swap out that radiation helmet for a rebreather. Gather a few materials, and we'll head up to the mountains. Build another locker just to hold all the eggs and stuff. There's a bunch more stuff I want to build. We'll do some base construction in a bit here, but for now I'm just going to store this stuff. Really? Why are you being difficult? You do have to be careful with both regular acid mushrooms and with deep shrooms. If you cut them in the wild and you're sitting too close to them, they actually release enough acid to hurt you. I'll show you here. And they can also blow up in a chain reaction. Okay. See, 3 of them blew up right there. Takes a pretty good chunk of health. If you're not careful. I don't actually have space to plant those. Let's yeah, fine. Let's put another one in here. Alright, I need to quit fooling around. That's fine. I don't need more than that.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Okay, so one of the things I want to do out there is build a small base, just a kind of a little outpost. One basic eye compartment, a solar panel, a fabricator, and a wall locker. Nothing crazy. It's a place to stash some stuff and manufacture something real quick. So need 2, 4, 7 of those. And 3 of those. Oh, I forgot the hatch. That was the other thing I forgot. And I have to have a hatch if you plan on actually using the base. Which means I need 2 more titanium. And I'm gonna need take a correlate of gold for that. And a copper. Okay, that should be everything. The other thing, you remember that purple tablet we found on the floating island last time?
All systems online.
Forgot the rebreather. Anyway, you remember that tablet we found on the floating island last time. There are several of those up here at the mountain island. And one of the things we're going to do out here, after we get the base established, is collect a few of them. Actually build the base first, so clear some inventory. We're also going to collect a bunch of diamonds and lithium and a bit of magnetite while we're there. Okay, there's the spot where we hopped out to go into those caves and get our first little bit of magnetite. Our first little bit of diamond and stuff last time. We'll come back here, but there's an underwater cave right down there where we will be heading in a bit. And we're also going to explore inside that building. Need one of those purple tablets to get in there. And I think you need another one once you're inside. Quite a bit of sandstone just out here in this general vicinity. As you get a little bit deeper, there's sometimes engine fragments. Weirdly abundant engine fragments. This isn't where I meant to get them, but they do show up here sometimes. There's a wreck down at the base of the mountain down there, where you're virtually guaranteed to get all the rest of the engine fragments you need, if you haven't already found them on the slopes by now.
New blueprint acquired.
Anyway, I have all I need now, but I'm still going to go down there because there's other stuff I want. But we will do that later. There's other stuff I want to get taken care of before the Sunbeam gets here. Also, you do have to watch out for the warpers around here. Speak of the devil, where are you? Again, if you keep moving... Just killed all those fish. If you keep moving, they can't hit you. Perimeter defense is great. It does suck up some... power out of your Seamoth. This is about the deepest I would normally use a solar panel for anything. They get less efficient the deeper you go. If you keep moving while you're building one of these, you're less likely to get bitten by a biter or shot by a warper.
Power restored. All primary systems online.
You'll notice it charges a fair bit slower at this depth than what a solar panel would on the surface. Okay, we're good there. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna cut short the other stuff I was gonna do and go explore that facility first. Now, if you haven't played this far in the game, I highly recommend you pause the video now and work your way up through the Sunbeam rendezvous, because this next bit's going to spoil some major plot points if you haven't played before. Fair warning. Just leave her here for now. Okay. Top up food monitor. Normally I wouldn't recommend leaving your health below 100 like that, but I'm not going to be doing anything dangerous the next little bit, and as long as your food and water is full, your health will regenerate on its own over time. See, it's 86 now. Now, if you haven't previously scanned a purple tablet, you can scan that one. We need a purple tablet to act as a key and bring down that force field. Luckily, like I said, there are several of them just lying around on the island. If you go through those caves where we first got diamond, you work your way up. There's some just lying on the sand, like this one. We just need the one for the moment. Now, I will tell you, as you go through here and scan things,
This structure is composed of a metal alloy with unprecedented integrity. No match is found in database. Performing structural analysis.
as your PDA puts more information in your data bank here, under the alien data, some of the data you get here are going to provide this and codes and clues. Those are going to be your most important sections for figuring out where to go next if you don't want to just like wait for me to show you.
Unknown language. Attempting translation.
Those are useful. As many of those as you can get, you're going to want to find.
Analysis of the patterns on the walls cannot ascertain whether their purpose is aesthetic or functional. Further data required.
Those ion cubes serve a number of important purposes.
Unknown language. Attempting translation.
One of which is opening portals.
Your best probability of interfacing with this facility is achieved by accessing the control room in the lower section.
See, if we had come in through this moon pool here, would have had to put a perp key in to access the elevator. Yeah. See, there's that little mini base we just built. That's going to come into play later. Anyway. This is the next thing we need to explore. All kinds of interesting stuff to scan in here. I highly recommend you read all the fun background lore in your PDA as you go through. There is an alien arch here. This one does not have an ion cube receptacle, which means we have to open it from the other side, wherever the other paired portal is. Which, we'll find that eventually. But not right now. We're gonna need that. This is the Doomsday device. It's also, yeah, it was a failsafe.
Scans indicate the facility's control room lies beyond this doorway.
Okay. Last warning, major plot point upcoming. through the facility. Oh, look. I wonder if that's what hit the Aurora.
The control panel is broadcasting a message. Translation reads, "Warning, infected individuals may not disable the weapon. This planet is under quarantine."
Yeah. Anybody want to guess what that foreshadows?
Translating background broadcast. Downloading summary to databank.
Oop. Yeah. That might cost me a little bit. Okay. Again, I'm just gonna pick some stuff up. I don't have time to go through all the caves that I'm gonna show you in a minute here. But I do want to be topside when the Sunbeam gets here. If you haven't previously obtained gel sacks from like LifePod 19 area, you can get them out here too. This particular spire has a bunch of lithium and shale all over it. It's a nice place to collect a bunch of spare resources. No, thank you. Those warp bubbles can get you out of a... Whoa, jeez. Hi. Just warped in that little pack of biters. I theoretically knew that they could do that, but hadn't actually seen them do it before. Whew. That boy's aggressive. Not nice. So yeah, if you do decide to play around out here, just stay frosty. I don't know where he took off to either, which also sort of makes me nervous. Another gel sack. He's not a risk if you don't go too far that way. Don't worry about that Reaper. I think we cleared out most of that. There's more in the caves around here. We'll get that later. For now, I'm gonna head up to the surface. Get a little more food and water. And just hang out and wait for... Seriously. I think that Reaper we were hearing is probably the one on the other side of the island there. Ugh. That guy makes me wish I had brought a propulsion cannon. Hands down the best way to deal with those stinkers. Because the propulsion cannon can grab them and then punt them off into the distance. Much easier than trying to hit them with a knife. See, yeah, this kind of thing, I can see why some people don't care for the light on the Sea Glide. It's kind of bluish, it's a little weak. The flashlight is definitely brighter. Well, the flashlight takes a whole extra inventory. Well, it takes 4. a 2x2 inventory slot. Does it? Actually, I'm not sure. Tells you how often I use the flashlight. Essentially never. I don't know. It's not expensive to build. I just don't like carrying it around, and you can't use the flashlight at the same time you use the Sea Glide, which doesn't matter on land, but it's super unhelpful in the water. So, let's get up here. We don't have to worry about those guys. And oh, one more thing. I gotta tell you this. This cutscene, when the Sunbeam arrives, does not work correctly if you have motion blur on. You have to turn it off or it doesn't look right. For some strange reason, when the Sunbeam approaches, it looks all blurry and weird. But turning off motion blur fixes the issue. Okay, well, I got a couple of minutes. A minute, anyway. Huh. It's a nuclear plant fragment. It's another cave we'll go in a bit. That seems like it might be a problem.
Survivor, we see you. Man, I don't know how you held out down there. We broke an atmosphere, and we're descending towards the landing site. Is that a building down there? What do you mean you can't identify it? Hold on. No turning back now. Positions, everyone. Touching down in 10, 9, 8. It's coming from the building? Change course. Set thrusters to full.
Well, you knew it wasn't going to be that easy, right? Okay. So, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this over here. Okay. Now. So we're no longer on the clock. That's the only thing in the entire game that is time sensitive. That's remember exactly where all the ones above the water are. Wow, another engine fragment. Man. Kinda too bad I wasn't speedrunning. This would have been a great map for that. Getting those engine parts that easy is kind of wild. Okay, now, if you choose to go this route that I'm about to show you with the Sea Glide, just know that you have to do it right the first time. It's easy to get lost going this way, and with the ultra high capacity tank, it's not a huge deal. But if you don't have the ultra high capacity tank, or if you really get lost, you can drown this way. Okay, so it's just right down over that fin, straight down to this cave entrance. There is a brain coral here to refill on before you go in if you want. There's 2 or 3. Oh, I want to get one of those. I don't remember if I got a papyrus already, but I definitely haven't gotten a spotted dock yet. There's also a place where you can get the eye stalk plant if you don't have one of those yet. Take a cutting there. Yes, up here. Up to that bridge. There's another brain coral here if you need it. And there's our first purple tablet. Okay, this one is another spot that's easy to get lost. You want to kind of go up and to your right. All the way up here. Oh, it is over here. Or not. I got turned around. What? Reaper can't come in here. We can't be... We must just be really close to the side of the mountain he's on. There we go. This is the dray I was meaning to go. There's more lithium and stuff up in there that joins to that other cave system from the other side of the island. Now, let's see. Normally I would come running around here. You can do this all kind of one pass. You can run it around here. Up this little path here. Grab that one that we got up here a minute ago. Then we're gonna dive back down here. Just watch you jump far enough. If you hit that edge, it's a bad time. It's gonna go straight down here towards that next brain coral. There's another. There he is. I didn't need to take that. Well, now I feel bad. I gotta drop some stuff. Actually, I think I only need to drop one of those. There's one more of those. Okay. And that's it there. Oh, I missed that before. Whoa! Where's a cup? Alright, you. Bring it on. Just like any other predator, if you hit them, they'll take off for a bit. And the guys they spawned in apparently warp away after a bit too. Okay, so I've got 2 of those tablets now. You can actually make them if you want from a... If you need extras and you don't find enough.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
You can make them from a tablet, from an ion cube and a diamond. We don't need to do that though. There's definitely a couple more up on that island, but I'm not going to make you watch while I scout around for them. Next thing we're going to do though, before we take off, is I'm going to show you how to get to that other wreck. Right down here. So from that moon pool, I'm gonna slide right down the side of the mountain. See that smoker there?
Warning.
Shoot!
Reached.
I always forget that.
Imminent.
That's so much easier when you have the depth module, but it's not critical, especially if you have the ultra high capacity tank. If you stay to the right of that smoker, you don't have to worry about that guy. You can hear him, but that's kind of the typical limit of his range. Unless you just like shine your headlights right at him. But generally speaking, if you hug them out, you don't have to worry about it. And there's two different sections of this wreck that you can explore. There's this one here. There's not much in this one. The engine fragments are typically lying around outside this wreck at the very bottom.
New blueprint acquired.
That's an option. It's not hard.
Blueprint acquired.
It's not hard to build, and it's helpful if you find yourself constantly dehydrated. Watch out for that. The water that it produces does drain your hunger slightly. The implication is that it doesn't taste very good because it's distilled from your sweat, etc. Alright, this other piece needs a laser cutter to get into. I'll come back for that. This alien containment.
New blueprint acquired.
That's what we need to hatch those eggs. Oh, I'm gonna want that. I'm gonna want that eventually. The grappling arm and the drill arm are, in my opinion, by far the most useful attachments for the prawn. Ow. Fighter.
New blueprint acquired.
Pays to keep an eye on them because their range isn't always set hard and fast. Like sometimes they wander a bit. You know, I kind of thought there was a brain coral down here somewhere. That would have been nice. It saved me having to zip back up to the sea moth. Let's see. Yeah, I don't need any more of those. Anyway, come back and laser into that one in a sec. Yeah, so usually those engine fragments are right down here. In fact, almost always.
New blueprint acquired.
Everything's out of place.
30 seconds.
Anyway, all those super weird engine fragments showing up in other places. They're, like I said, everything's kind of semi-randomly distributed. And, uh-oh. Well, I cut that a little bit close.
Warning. Maximum depth reached.
Man.
Hull damage imminent.
Just wanted to move it a little bit further away from that Reaper territory. Not too far though, because you go around that side of the hill and there's another one over there. I don't need tons of magnetite. You don't use a lot of it in the game. And there's some more of it in the Jelly Shroom Caves, which is where we'll be going next time. But since we're here, might as well pick some up. Really, dude. Those biters are more annoying than anything. You can see they do almost no damage. It's only a problem if you get like absolutely swarmed by them or you're already low.
Please observe Safety Protocol CSP-21 before handling classified cargo.
You can see there's a bunch more furniture and stuff in here. Oh, your first double bed. Much more furniture and stuff in here if you haven't already found it, like the wall shelves, pots, that kind of thing. Again, if you don't have the...
New blueprint acquired.
If you don't have the Seamoth depth module, I don't recommend doing this if you don't also have the ultra high capacity tank. If you have...
New blueprint acquired.
If you have either of those things, you're probably fine. Because with the depth module, you can just bring the Seamoth down and park it right outside the entrance here. This isn't one of the more complicated wrecks. And of course, if you have the ultra high capacity tank, you can do what I'm doing, which is leaving it back above 200 meters and traveling down this way on your own. Okay. Water's about to become more or less trivial. Yeah. Okay, I'm out of space. Time to go back. Wait a Yeah, see, that's that other one around the southwest side of the island I was talking about. You just saw him off in the distance. Well, what the heck? Let's go back this way. Maybe we'll dodge Reapers on the way home. See if he even notices us. Whoa! Hit the wall. I'm sure he's seen us now. Yep, there he is. Yeah, I don't think he liked that very much. If you don't have a perimeter defense and that guy is chasing you like that, you can just zip down here in amongst the trees, assuming you don't hit the trees, or if you're just out there with a sea glide. If you can get to the safety of the mushroom forest, he can't really follow you through the trees. Anyway. Oh crap. That is the reason we don't go around that side of the island with the rebreather. If you get too close to the aurora, if you start playing around in the mushroom forest. Alright, I'm about home now. So, that was a fun little adventure. I'm going to go ahead and clean some things up, build a couple things, and in the next episode, I think we'll head out to the next Degazi habitat. I'll show you the jelly shroom caves. Alright, thanks for your patience with me getting this episode out there, and thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.